Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mount Pleasant Central Park for the first outdoor concert of the season for the Mount Pleasant Community Band. So we're very glad you're here. Thank you. I have missed that in particular. So, we're also very glad that the front seems to be dividing Mount Pleasant right now. So that being said, though, and given my track record the last 2 weeks, I'm going to talk less, smile more, as Alexander Hamilton would say. And yeah, so we're going to play through these in a fairly quick order so we can get you out of here before it rains. But thank you for coming out. First of all, I just want to acknowledge too, if you have not gone over and visited our PEO sisters selling pies for free will donation, they are wonderful. I have had black raspberry, I've had cherry, I've had apple. They are all excellent, and I would highly recommend, if you haven't gotten a piece, feel free to go over at any time. Free will donation, they've got plenty of pie over there. They're so gracious. Can we give them a round of applause for being here? Thank you. And for being here last week, especially given the circumstances. So, we're going to open up with a Carl King classic that's going to feature our low brass section. This is the Trombone King. One of our pastimes at a community band concert, we always try to include some marches, some movie tunes, some show tunes, that sort of thing. So next this comes from a movie. The composer Elmer Bernstein, who was not Leonard Bernstein, and no, they weren't related. So Leonard Bernstein wrote, or Bernstein, excuse me, wrote West Side Story. Elmer Bernstein, or Bernstein, wrote for a lot of movies, including this next one, which is the Magnificent Seven theme. So very famous Western starring Yul Brynner and a lot of other famous people I can't remember off the top of my head. So, and then remade a few years ago starring Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington. So, seen them both great films, but this was from the original one that came out in the 1960s. We hope you enjoy the Magnificent Seven. For those of you that are Michael Jackson fans, okay, Elmer Bernstein also wrote the music for the Thriller music video. Not Thriller, but all the scary music that you hear. If you haven't watched it, the #1 music video of all time. It's about 14 and a half minutes long and cost like $1.4 million to make. So yeah, go check it out and listen to Elmer Bernstein's music on Thriller too. So next we're going to go to a show tune, and before it was a show, it was a Disney classic. This is the Circle of Life theme from The Lion King. So we hope you enjoy Circle of Life. Different out here, right? Got pressure force that you can play out. Hold back. Sound. Doing great. As you might imagine, when we get rained out a week, we don't have to pick a lot of new music, and so we're doing a lot of what we were going to do a week ago, but I did throw in some new stuff, this being our concert prior to the 4th of July. I always like to have a couple of Americana patriotic sort of things. So this is our next tune. I think we do this every year. I did it a couple of years ago at the middle school with my band and a combined mass choir. It's just a really well-written piece for a young band. This is Warren Barker's arrangement of America the Beautiful. Typically, the concert before I make the announcement that we're going to have this event, and unfortunately, as I already stated last week, didn't materialize. But every year, for about the last 5 years or so, we've been generously sponsored by Arts Impact, which is a local group in Mount Pleasant, to host what's called a bubble parade. So, kids, my wife, Mindy, who I have nomenclated the bubbliest person in the band, is coming around with bubbles. Okay, so these are free to you, and if you want, when we play this Carl King March, she's gonna lead you around the square, up and down and everywhere, and you can wave the bubbles, and it'll be a glorious sight to behold, I'm sure. So, she's walking around right now. So kids, if you want some bubbles, go find Mindy. Look, there they go. And even if you're not a kid and you would like some bubbles, you're welcome to stay seated or prance around behind. So I want to, while she's doing this and stalling a little bit for time, I want to just say a big thank you to Phil Geiser and Arts Impact for helping make this happen. So I know that they haven't had anything else the last 2 weeks because of the weather, but we're sure glad that we can continue this little mini tradition that we have started here. So if you would help me thank Arts Impact and Phil Geiser. Thank you. One of their members, and you'll get to see this come to fruition during Ragbri. Annie Swarm, well not Swarm anymore, it's Annie Goldberg, has painted a mural, what they're calling a Mount Pleasant postcard. And so when the Ragbri folks come through at the end of July, they'll be able to stop in front of this giant mirror, take a picture, and they'll be using this for lots of different events. I think Old Threshers will be using it and different things too. But it's a very cool mural of landmarks that represent Mount Pleasant. That includes the fountain, steam engines, the water tower, Bell Bad Mansfield over at the former Iowa Wesleyan campus. Lots of things that you would say, this speaks of Mount Pleasant. So when you get to see that, it's very, very cool. And she is a member of the Arts Impact Group. So, did I give you enough time there, Bubble Queen? She is ready. So kids, you can follow Mindy around or do your own thing at your chair, but it would be really cool if we got like a giant conga line and you followed her. You don't know what conga lines are. That's okay. I just dated myself there. So this is Carl King March, Torch of Liberty, or tonight we're calling Torch of Bubbles. All right. We ready? We're going to take all that and play keep the parade going with some funk tunes now. So if you want to keep moving and grooving, you're welcome to. So our next set of two pieces, both from the 1970s, 1980s powerhouse funk band called Earth, Wind, and Fire. Notice that rain is absent from that title. Okay, so Earth, Wind, and Fire. So you're going to hear September and Boogie Wonderland. So we'll play one. I won't talk in between. We'll go right into the next one. So a couple of good tunes. Thanks, Ron. I feel the love, man. Okay. So here is September and Boogie Wonderland. Okay, our next tune is another show tune, and this is it's a classic. I'm not sure that it's even on Broadway anymore. I think its final tour, it just ended, yes. So, The Phantom of the Opera by Andrew Lloyd Webber just ended its final debut in New York City. So, I've seen the show, I think 3 times. Once on a music trip, and a couple other times I remember taking students when I was in, not here, but when I taught over at Eddyville, we went to Des Moines to see it. So it's a great show, fantastic music. It is rather operatic, but it has some really beautiful melodies. So you're going to hear 3 different tunes here. The Phantom of the Opera, All I Ask of You, and The Music of the Night. And kids, sometimes this phantom is a little scary. So we hope you enjoy. special shout out to our resident scream expert, Lizzie Kroll, on that one. Yes, yeah. For those of you that were unable to attend the first concert, we played an arrangement of Jaws and Superman. And so, of course, in that song, there was also a scream. So, when we were rehearsing this a week ago, Dr. Reinders, he brought up, he goes, Mr. Creager, would this be an appropriate song to add another scream in? So we did. So look forward to the next time we play, what song we'll be screaming about. I haven't figured it out yet, but there'll be something. So, okay. Again, we want to thank you for coming out tonight. Just a word, next week we are off so that we can celebrate the 4th of July with our family. So there'll be no band concert next week. We will be on the following week, which I believe is the 11th, okay? So look for us back here on July 11th for our final concert of the season. I know it seems so short, especially when we have one that was weathered out. But we only have one more left. So a big thank you to all of you for coming out. I want to say again, thank you to our PEO Sisterhood for being here and providing pies. And you feel free to swing over there if you haven't got one already before you go. Thank you to Arts Impact for supplying the bubbles tonight. Thank you, Mindy, for being our bubble queen and leading the kids around. And kids, we hope you enjoyed it. So, and adults that may have taken some too. But most importantly, we just want to say thank you for coming out and supporting us year after year. This is an all-volunteer group, and these folks behind me work really hard, and I'm really pleased to work with them. So, one more round of applause for this band. Since it is the 4th of July next week, and we hope you celebrate safely with all of your families, we're going to play a Carl King march entitled Hosts of Freedom, something we can always be thankful for here in our great country. So this is Carl King's Hosts of Freedom. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week.